Good morning. Welcome to day 5 of the 7-day play challenge. In a second, I'll give you the task for today. Fairly simple. And just a reminder, come back and share a comment or two about what's coming up for you. I know that this practice is kind of hard. It's interesting how much reflection I get about that. It is hard. Because it touches places in us that sometimes as adults we don't allow ourselves to go to. And while that is sometimes very playful and fun, it also can bring up uncomfortable feelings. A lot of people have given me that comment of like, well, sounds interesting. It was funny to watch you do that, but like I wasn't comfortable doing that. The reason I'm inviting you to take these risks is that it pushes us outside of our normal range of behaviors. It doesn't have to necessarily be a fun and happy experience, but what it can do is it just breaks the normalcy of our ideas that many of us are locked into throughout much of the day. If that sounds appealing, this is a way. It's one way to do that. So today, I want you to just take a second outside, just a handful of minutes, and I want you to find an animal. It could be a bird. I don't know if you can hear some of the birds. They're pretty loud this morning. It's magpies out here. Just interact with that creature as if it can hear you. Who cares if it cannot? Like, duh. It doesn't really matter. And it can be playful and silly and sweet, but it can kind of be serious too. I walked out this morning and it's still pretty early, so it's a little bit cool. And look back in here. I'm gonna do this thing. Do you see this little friend in here? This little insect, and that's a fly. That's not a bee. But is that little friend is alive, but it's so cold that it can't move. It can't move. And so I'm just orienting to that as if it's adorable. Honestly, that's about all I really am doing. I've had a little bit of conversation, and it could kind of look like this, you know. Oh, hey there. Yeah, it's kind of cold. Oh, you're just nestled up in there. I'm not going to poke them too much because it's going to kind of disturb. It's really probably a her. Most insects are hers. They're not male. Oh, were you dreaming last night? Yeah, I had some dreams too. I was dreaming that it was nice and warm and sunny and that I was flying through the air, and then I ran into a raindrop, and that raindrop just like knocked me over, and I was tumbling through the sky, and I looked up and there was this cloud of insects, and they were flying around in the shape of a heart, and that felt nice. Oh my gosh. There you go. Whatever. I don't know. I just made that up. It doesn't really matter too much. But that's your task for the day. Is go out, find an animal. You could talk to birds. That's a different. I'm not sure. Do you hear those magpies? Magpies are kind of annoying. You can have an annoying conversation with them. You can be like, "Hey, keep it down out there. quit making all that noise." You know, you can imagine them playing like a boombox, like it's back in the 80s, and you're like, "Hey, you punks." Or a squirrel, or a little spider in your house, anything that you want. Have a small 1 to 5 minute interaction with an animal where you have a sense that you can communicate between each other. If you can learn to model this kind of activity, learning how to play with children it's a precious gift in itself. And it extends into the rest of our lives, because when we learn to play with children, we also learn how to tap into and play and access these places in our friends and other loving adults. When you know how to interact with somebody's like inner child, that is one of the most precious experiences you can have in life. And the first person to learn how to do that with is this guy right here, you know, is yourself. Accessing that playful inner space in yourself, even without anybody else, can sometimes really shift and transition moods and moments. Do you hear these magpies? Come on, quit it out there. But then when we can, it is hard. The vulnerability is a real challenge. When we can bring that level of confidence into our interaction with children, with our partners, with friends and family and neighbors, and have these moments, the vulnerability of it, it is hard. The vulnerability comes out and people, it can transform a person's day because we feel seen. A child feels seen, a friend feels seen, our wife or husband or whoever from a busy day feels seen. Nothing changes. The rest of the day is still busy. We're still frustrated. We're still angry about politics. Whatever. But that little welcoming sense of heart and playfulness, that's what we're after. So try it out. See what you experience. Share your thoughts. Thanks for participating. Good luck out there. Good luck out there.